Well, this might be a long video, hopefully it won't. Anyway, so now it's time to talk about the upcoming episodes from the Sakuragi Lab Panic episode all the way to the upcoming episodes that were shown in the preview and anything else. I should point out any information gained in this episode's preview will be supplemented by information provided by PokeFan. So that means I might not talk too much about the upcoming episode's preview that we got, since we got a little bit more information in regards to PokeFan. So what I'm going to do is first discuss the episodes we know are coming out, and then speculation in future episodes. However, it should be noted that a lot of this will be speculation, and hopefully I'll make sure to express what is speculation that is important, because the information we might not relate to the episodes later on. The biggest example could be Morpeko, for example, but I'll get to that later on. Episode 23. The title is Massive Panic, Sakuragi Park. What we know based on the summary and preview, a lot of this is paraphrasing by the way. The Pokemon at Sakuragi Park have started fighting, and as it turns out, food for the Pokemon has disappeared. Thus, the Pokemon are getting hangry. At some point, Go's Golurk gets damaged and its seal has broken and has gone insane. Meanwhile, Go's Cascoon are trying to evolve all at the same time, and they need to protect Cascoon in order for it to evolve. Hey, and we also got to see Riolu in the preview. It is odd that in the preview we don't get anything in regards to Dragonite or Gengar, but they could still be there at some point, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Speculation. The culprit of the food thievery is none other than Morpeko. We do have an image of Morpeko eating what looks like a bag of chips. It would be extremely strange for Morpeko to not be the food thief, given that it's eating food in the image as well. It's a very hungry Pokemon. So hungry that it has a form change when it gets really hungry, hence the hangry pun I was making earlier, unless you didn't hear that, because my audio is not perfect. But anyway, however, there is a reason to doubt this. While Riolu's episode preview only showed us the first half, it is ultimately weird how the episode is structured in a way where the Pokemon are attacking. Meanwhile, Golurk has gone on a rampage, and following with that will be Cascoon evolving into Dustox. This is extremely weird because how do you add Morpeko into the mix at the end? Especially since PokeFan also implied either Go or Ash will get Morpeko, along with two other Galar Pokemon, which I'll discuss later in this video, which is why the food thief could be someone different. Still though, it's still weird to have included an image of Morpeko eating food and having a completely different episode about food being stolen. Like, there's foreshadowing, but then there's redundancy. Episode 24. Rest, Team Rocket. What we know based on the summary. Giovanni has asked Team Rocket, I don't know if it's the whole organization or just Jesse, James, and Meowth, but Giovanni has asked Team Rocket that they need to go on vacation. So they head to the Sinnoh region to vacation at the resort area. However, they end up running into Ash and Go, who are there to conduct research. Team Rocket Trio wants to steal Pikachu, but they also don't want to disobey orders from Giovanni. Meanwhile, Mattery of Team Rocket has showed up and has decided to steal the Pokemon of everyone there. For some reason or another, Team Rocket decided to team up with Ash and Go to protect the Pokemon without compromising their identity. For clarification, the I'm adding for the some reason, I'll explain later when I'm speculating. Speculation. There's no preview or PokeFan information about that episode, which makes sense given the upcoming episodes. But this seems like another Team Rocket focused episode, and if you remember my feelings in regards to the Ditto episode, this episode probably won't be too good. However, I am hoping for Ash to use Riolu in this episode so it can get some battle experience. Now, I'm still not certain as to why Team Rocket would team up with Ash and Go. While I do know that Team Rocket despised Mattery, I'm not sure if it makes too much sense to be antagonistic to her, given that she's close to Giovanni. Pretty risky in my opinion. Now, to be fair to this episode, if they are evolving Team Rocket specifically in regards to future storylines, then I'll be okay with this episode. But I'll be more fine with this episode if Ash uses Riolu here, which would be really cool, especially if Team Rocket realizes what Riolu is and are not looking forward to it evolving. There's not much to say other than I hope we get some cool battles. I'm fine with Ash just using Pikachu and Riolu, but Gengar and Dragonite wouldn't be too bad. I'd also like to see Team Rocket's reaction to Ash using all of his Pokemon. That'd be interesting. Episode 25. A battle festival exploding with life versus Corinna. What we know from the summary and preview, paraphrased heavily by the way, I want to keep the information as brief as possible, so I'm not going to go into every detail that PokeFan listed, just the important information. So in this episode, Ash is entering a battle festival where it's possible to instantly increase your rank in the Pokemon World Championships. With Ash's rank being currently unknown, he ends up facing against Corinna, where winning will allow him to be in Super Rank, or more easily recognizable for English language speakers, the Great Ball rank, which I hope the dub refers to it as such when we get there on the dub, which would be episode 18, I believe, or even episode 13. And if you recall what that means, Ash will likely attain rank 999, or 999, don't know why I said it that weird, if he beats Corinna. So Corinna could easily be already at rank 1000 or 999. Of course, there is the issue we don't know how entering new ranks work. Do they work differently than normal ranks? Anyway, back to the episode at hand. In the upcoming episode's preview, we saw Ash using Gengar, which was presumably against Corinna, but more clearly from PokeFan screens, we're at least getting Mega Lucario versus Dragonite. Yes, finally, Ash is using Dragonite in a battle. Not much to say other than continuity and hype. Oh, and Go ends up catching a lot of Kalos Pokemon. Speculation. Yes, Gengar being used is speculation, but the way the preview for the upcoming episodes were ordered, it seemed like Ash was also going to use Gengar. We don't know if it's a 2 versus 2 or a 3 versus 3 or oddly a 1 versus 1, which means Gengar isn't used. Since it is also a battle festival, it's entirely possible Ash battles other trainers, with Corinna being the main match between Ash and Corinna. My biggest issue with this episode is that Ash is battling Corinna in a Pokemon World Championship match, and he'll be entering the Super Rank if he defeats her. This is technically fine, but seeing how this series is episodic in nature, this type of format would have benefited being a two-parter at least. And given what we know, I'm not sure if we're getting a two-parter here, since the episode outright says versus Mega Lucario. And this is also not good because wouldn't Ash and Corinna talk about Ash as Riolu? And so far we haven't seen anything about Riolu except for the Sakuragi Park Panic episode in the preview. And a blurb about the Pokemon Ash has, which, by the way, Mr. Mime is now, at this point, confirmed to be a one-off. It's more of a reserve Pokemon that he was using. I was really hoping for a bonding episode between Ash and Mr. Mime, but I don't know if we're going to get that. But let's talk about the positive and the hypest aspect of this episode. Finally, Dragonite is being used, and I'm so happy about this. Oh man, Ash's Dragonite versus Corinna's Lucario is going to be so amazing. As a side note, if the PokeFan was showing actual screenshots of the episode, can I just mention how sick as hell Mega Lucario's Aura Sphere looks? Because if Ash's Lucario gets Aura Sphere and it looks that sick, it's just going to be a beautiful looking move. It looks like it's like a galaxy in a sphere, and that looks really cool. Also, I guess I need to talk about Go catching all these Kalos Pokemon. So in PokeFan, we get Go with potentially catching a Fletchling, a Binacle, and a Pumpkaboo. Oh man. Wow. And a Scatterbug and a Flabébé. Okay, it's not a Pumpkaboo, it's a Phantom. For the sake of not getting mad, I'm not going to say anything other than I hope he doesn't actually get all these Pokemon and they're just listed as he tries to get them. PokeFan says Go will also play a major role in this episode and is as much as a must-see as Ash's Fierce Battle. Not if he's getting Phantom. Okay, anyway, moving on. That's it for this episode. If I get time, maybe I'll discuss it in further detail in another video. Definitely hit me up in the comment section below for more thoughts. Until then, as long as you asked. So that's it in regards to the episodes we know about in regards to the titles. However, there is still a lot of information to go over. First off, let's go with some more Pokemon for Ash and Go. I already mentioned Morpeko, but only because I'm still under the belief it will show up in episode 23, which I could be wrong, but no need to mention it here, other than I personally think Go will get it. Ash could end up getting Morpeko, but I'm expecting it to primarily be a trade Pokemon if he does end up catching it. Phantom! I'm only kidding, though. I should point out PokeFan makes direct mention of its form changing, though. That's something that I neglected to mention earlier. Anyway, the other two Pokemon shown in PokeFan for Galar Pokemon is the Galarian Farfetch'd and Sobble. Now, these are especially important because their description mentioning battling, whereas Morpeko was just about food and it changing its form. Sobble. It's just as timid as it looks. It's on the verge of crying after being frightened by something. Will battling be completely impossible for it? Farfetch'd. Here comes the Galar region's Farfetch'd, which uses heavy-looking leagues as their weapon. They randomly challenge others to battle. In regards to these three Pokemon stated, Ash and Go might get new companions, so Ash is at least getting one of these, while Go is also getting Morpeko is in the air, and as I said in my speculation thread, I'm expecting Ash to get Sobble, the Pokemon I expect Ash to get. And Go getting Galarian Farfetch'd makes a lot of sense. It does say it randomly challenges others to battle, so it makes sense why it would be Go and not Ash, because battling Ash wouldn't exactly be random, would it? Ash is a Pokemon battler. Go, however, is not. But we'll see what happens. For Sobble, Ash just needs to train it up so it can become a battler, so that fixes that issue. But ultimately, we just don't know. Another reason I doubt Ash getting Galarian Farfetch'd is because it's pure fighting type along with Surfetch'd, which is weird since Ash already has Riolu, and thus I think Go is getting it. Makes more sense since I think Go having redundant types makes far more sense than Ash. Anyway, next up is Leon versus Raihan. Now, as I've stated before in my other videos, I do not have a Nintendo Switch, so I can't play Pokemon Sword or Shield. So my information on him is from what I've read elsewhere. Now, as for Raihan, he's apparently as skilled as a Pokemon champion of other generations, like Lance, Cynthia, etc. And this makes sense because Raihan is strong enough to become a champion in another region. However, his main goal purpose is to defeat Leon, because they're best friends, childhood friends or whatever, childhood rivals, something of that nature. So we are getting a Raihan versus Leon episode coming up. My only issue about this is that it makes sense for Raihan to be in top 8 Masterclass, but my issue is then how does the Galar League even work with Raihan being the Galar gym leader? I don't think I mentioned this before in a video, but in the forums I expressed my confusion as to how the games as well as the anime work, with 8th generation games being too close to the anime, despite the anime establishing a very specific continuity that contradicts the games. Maybe I'll make a separate video on why I'm confused about the Galar League in the anime, since I feel it has to be connected to the Pokemon World Championships in order to make any sense. Because if it's like the anime in any way, shape, or form, how can any random person defeat Raihan in his gym if he's strong as he is and have this be completely separate from the Pokemon World Championships? I suppose there's multiple gyms in the Galar League, like in the anime, but I don't know. I'll discuss that in a later video. Anyway, I don't know how hyped I am for Raihan versus Leon. I'm sure it'll be good, but I'm confused as to how they would portray Raihan almost defeating Leon, since I think Lance did a pretty good job. I suppose maybe they'll show Charizard about to faint or hit with a powerful dragon attack. Charizard is about to hit but pushes back past the attack and then defeats Duraludon and Leon wins, with Leon looking worried multiple times that he needs to take the battle more seriously or something, but I guess we'll just have to see. That's pretty much it, but there are 2 more points about the upcoming episode's preview that I want to go over. Slowpoke and Sonia. I think the Slowpoke in the preview will lead to Galarian Slowpoke. I think it could be referencing it, if not directly as Slowpoke, as the Slowpoke seen as a fantasy, but perhaps the only shot in the preview that might relate to the Team Rocket episode. So if it's not relating to Galarian Slowpoke, maybe it's a scene that's taken from the Team Rocket Rest episode. That could make sense, but we'll just have to wait and see. As for Sonia, I think this might relate to the Sobble and Farfetch'd episode, in that I think Sonia is going to be there to help Ash and Go, as they are there as research fellows, you know, after the whole Raihan versus Lance thing. So I'm at odds with this because Sonia is sparkling in a way that makes it seem like someone is in love, so it could be Raihan, Hop, Leon, or even maybe Go. I don't think it'll be Ash, but it wouldn't be the first time, but it would have been the first time in a long time. Anyway, I think that covers this information for now. So if you have any comments or thoughts, let me know in the comment section below. So in a future episode, I will discuss my confusion in regards to the Galar League, contradicting the anime and the Pokemon World Championships. I could be overlooking things, but we'll have to see in that particular video. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.